as often.
Okay.
And in the summer, you'll have all sorts of different kinds of things, different lengths of stays. Oftentimes, people will stay a week. Sometimes they'll stay longer. Sometimes I get like people that are there for work that are staying there, like a group of people that are there for a conference or some other kind of stuff. So it's a little bit hit and miss that way.
Okay.
And I say occupancy drops down to about 40% of nightly, nights, something like that.
Got it. Have you ever tried to, over the summer, find like a long-term tenant of 3 to 6 months, or that's just not worth it?
No, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah. Sure.
You can do a lot of different things on Airbnb, so I can set a setting that says, if you're doing monthly rentals, you get 40% off of the total rent, those kinds of things. I just have not felt the need to kind of do that.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's dive into this. So our listeners out there are going, okay, well, this sounds attractive. I want to do it. I've got a rental property, or I live in an area that's desirable for tourists, and I can rent my basement or my other half of the duplex or whatever. They want to rent a room. What is the very first thing? Let's break this down step by step, if you don't mind. What's the very first thing that they're going to need to do?
Okay, so here's a very specific list. You just go on Airbnb. It's very straightforward. You're going to have some photos of your site. You're going to upload the listing. You want to be completely accurate, because one of the things that guests will ding you for almost immediately is if you've overhyped your place and said that there were amenities that aren't there, or that it's nicer than it kind of actually is. And you can search and see what everybody else is kind of charging and some other kinds of stuff. But then there's some very specific things that I would kind of do around how you're going to kind of catch this. So I would put mountains in this mountains. I think it's it's MOU-TINS, and I would order some of those kinds of things as a gift. That just works extremely well.
Got it. Your duplex during Sundance rents for $750 per night, correct?
Yeah, around that. I mean, it depends on how long you're staying there and some other kinds of things, but that's not uncommon. So during the summer, it can be as little as like $79 a night. So like a tenth of the price of what Sundance.
How you mentioned you can search other listings to kind of get a feel for it, but how did you come up with that price? Did you just see what everybody else is renting for when you first started?
There are a couple tools that you can use. You can look around and see what other places, like you're going to almost immediately be able to search and find other places that are similar to yours.
Okay.
And see what their occupancy is and some other kinds of things. There are some tools now, because Airbnb is big enough, where they will scrape all of that data and they will build a predictive model so that you can see here's what they're recommending that you put in.
Got it.
Those are workable in some ways, but not always the best. Like they're a little bit all over they give you a kind of a range. I've noticed that if I use them very specifically, they tend to be like Airbnb will give you a prediction of what you should be renting this for too, and it's often a little bit lower than what you should be charging.
Okay.
And some of these other tools are someplace maybe a little bit higher than what you should be charging.
Gotcha. Okay. So pretty much, if you just go to Airbnb, they're going to hook you up with the step-by-step of it, from pictures.
They will not hook you up with pictures and stuff.
Telling you what to do.
Depending on how that works, like if you become a super host and stuff, then like once a year they will. I think that they'll send somebody to take pictures of your place, or something, but it's probably based upon performance.
Okay.
So I remember getting an email from them. Like every year, I get an email. Would you like new photos, or would you like $100 off?
Right.
I usually do the $100 off because I have pretty good photos.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. And then, do you do any self-marketing for this? Like, I don't know, Facebook or driving people to your Airbnb
no.
thing? Okay.
Zero.
It's all, so you put it on Airbnb and call it a day.
I call it a day. Like I've tried a couple of other things that way. Mm-hmm. It's always just a pain in the ass.
Yep. So we discussed Airbnb, we discussed VRBO. Are there any other platforms out there, in case these listeners are listening to that are very similar?
There are a bunch. There's a platform that I looked at called, I think it's called Trade My Home or something like this.
Okay.
where you can actually trade with somebody else. It's not really a nightly rental.
Okay.
But this appealed to me a little bit, where you trade homes with somebody else around the world.
Oh,
Somebody,
yes,
you
I
know,
heard
so
about
you,
that.
so you're like,
Yeah.
I want to go to Thailand for a year. I don't know if there are that many, Thai people that are wanting to come to Salt Lake City
Yeah.
for a month or something like
Right,
that. But
right.
maybe. But
Yeah.
you trade houses. There's a number of ways that you can kind of manage that depending on what it is you're wanting to do.
Right. Have you ever done that?
No.
No.
I don't have any time to do that. I can't go to Thailand for a month.
Well, it doesn't have to
I
be
got stuff
Thailand.
to get done, Yosh.
That's right. That's right. Hey, well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. We have come to the end of the hour. This is the show Utah Home Sweet Home. This is K-Talk Radio 1640 AM. I'm your host, Yoshi Shiraki. Jeff, thanks again for
Hey.
joining us today.
My pleasure.
Wonderful. All right. Take care.